Universal Monsters Dracula issue number 2 from Skybound and Image and creators James Tynion IV and Martin Simmons. It's back, everyone. More Dracula in our lives. We still haven't gotten an announcement if they're doing another Universal Monsters book. If they have, I haven't seen it. I'm thinking that'd be a bigger deal because there was kind of a big push to talk about this issue or this book even when it was announced. Or maybe Tynion and Simmons are going to do another one after this. I don't really know. All I know is we're retelling the Dracula story with a modern team that probably has something to say. I do like this book. I think it is doing a lot of the stuff that you have seen before from the Dracula mythos, especially Bram Stoker's book. And I don't know if that's going to be enough to sell people on getting it. The selling point to me thus far has been Martin Simmons' artwork. I think he is so creative and does so many cool things with his artwork. This book is no exception. The colors are so different than his previous works, and we're doing something a little bit different that's kind of fun to see. Just the way we depict the allure of Dracula, it is its own unique flavor, and I do appreciate that. But again, this is just the story of Dracula, so if you are very familiar with that, I don't know if this iteration will be enough to sell you, but it is really fun. So this time around, we open up with Lucy and Mina. They are leaving just some, I don't know what it is. They don't really say where they're leaving, but they're just fascinated by this aristocrat that showed up. He was a count from Transylvania. And the girls were he's kind of a pretty guy, kind of a cool guy. And John and Mina's father are there too. And Mina's maybe we shouldn't talk about how hot this guy is with my dad and my fiance right around the corner. But Lucy is just obsessed with this guy. And you just see that kind of Dr. Seward's kind of off in his own world. He keeps seeing the name Transylvania appearing everywhere he goes. Renfield was on a ship leaving from Transylvania. Now there's a new count in the town from Transylvania. What does that mean? Through the crowd of people watching them, we see the count staring at Dr. Seward. We don't depict the human Dracula that much, but his skin is very pale and there's a lot of red shadowing him. But he kind of just disappears into the crowd. And you see that Mina and Lucy are sent home. And John's I don't know, Doc. Something seems off about you. Maybe you should come with me to the club. We'll have a drink. So because Seward's kind of afraid of being alone, he decides to go with John to the club. We see the wolf hunting them as they walk away. We cut to the club. And we see that Professor Abraham Van Helsing is just speaking I know these attacks on the boat. There was on a madman, it was dark magic, a vampire, and everyone's this guy's kind of crazy. And even Seward's I don't think this guy's accurate in a crackpot, something about him so strange. But John's no, he's a certified doctor. You should give him some credit, Seward. He is a genuine guy. And that's when Van Helsing shows up to talk to him. And I like a depiction of Van Helsing he's just a freak, he's a little rummagey little freaky boy. That's what we get here, just a big old mustache and his hair is impossible. I dig it so much. He's I see you don't believe my work, doctor. I understand that, but let me tell you, there are things going on here that not even I can understand, but I know more than most. And trust me when I say your patient Renfield probably has a lot of connection to the events taking place here. This is a warning to you, doctor. Be safe. And if you do not listen to me, don't say I didn't warn you. Which is cool. It's a nice way just to throw Van Helsing in this book. I feel we were going to do that no matter what. And the fact that we're focusing more on Dr. Seward is really interesting. It's the part of the book that I don't really think about. It's not the part that I would be yeah, we should talk about this guy and this character. I'm all in on Mina and Lucy. But you see that Tynion's no, I gotta get the angry doctor in here because that's who I can connect to. I respect it, dude. I respect it. And look, the artwork is stellar. I don't want to have to repeat that every time we talk about this book, but it's just so incredible. It's so beautiful. It's gorgeous. So many different ways. We cut back to the girls getting ready for the night, and Lucy is obsessed with the count still. It's please stop being obsessed with this guy. It's really weird. But as Lucy gets ready for bed, she can't stop thinking about the Count Dracula. And she's just kind of waiting for him. And you just see her beckoning to him, come to me, Count Dracula. Because she's horny and in love with him. We get a little bit of Renfield just demanding that Dracula come back to him. Like, come to me. I ache for you, my master. Follow me. Find me, please. Amazing stuff. But then we get a couple of pages of the seduction of Lucy, that's some of my favorite stuff in the Dracula story. Just like watching him like corrupt this young woman. I think it's so interesting. And this is a beautiful depiction of that, where she opens the windows. Suddenly she's like flooded by red, and she just sees like the red eyes of the Count. And he just kind of like swarms into her place, turning into the bats. And the big bat like luring down on top of her, turning into the man, where he's still got like the wings of the bat over top of her. Oh, it's so cool. I dig it so much. And we end that sequence with his fangs popping out to start to dig into her skin. Very cool. It looks so good. And then we have more of Renfield just being like, no, I need you, master. Please save me. I want more. I desire more. Please. And it's the next morning. Dr. Seward has fallen asleep reading a book in his study or something. Mina shows up like, Father, you're still here. You okay, buddy? He's like, no, I don't know. It feels like everything's getting a little too weird with me lately, and I think I'm just mad that I can't understand what's going on in Renfield. I can't really say everything's making sense, but I don't know. Something's off about me. Something's different. It's very strange what's going on, and I wish I had the answers, but forgive me, my darling. I am an old man ranting about problems he cannot solve. I should just stop complaining to you because you're a girl. What are you going to do? She's like, it's all right, Dad. Why don't I get Lucy up and I'll make us some breakfast and we'll all just relax there. He's like, okay. And then she suddenly screams loudly. And there's like a depiction of a bat between the screams. And that's when we see that Dr. Seward comes running down like, what is it, Mina? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. What happened to her? What's become of her? And he's like, oh my God. And that's when we see Lucy just surrounded by blood on the floor. And her neck has been bitten and it looks like she's dead. And there's a tear running down her cheek. And that is a really cool depiction of that. I think we're gonna like skip the part like, oh, she's dead, we have to kill her, but she's just full on vampire now. That's kind of interesting. She's gone full vampire now. We're gonna have to get Van Helsing in here to deal with this stuff. That's pretty cool, I love it. Lucy, one of my favorite characters in the mythos. I'll say that forever. I love that, and this is such a cool depiction of her. Just the colors work so well. The matted colors, where when it's like the stuff with Dracula himself, it's just blacks and reds. But the other people, it's just like these matted grays and golds. It's a really good use of the colors. And while I don't think the writing is particularly special, the artwork does hold it up. This book is interesting. I will say that. It is a very interesting book. I just kind of wish there was just like a different take going on here as opposed to a retelling of the same story. But I guess if you've never read the story, this is an interesting attempt for you. It's very curious that way. I don't know how people are going to react to it, but I like it. I am liking it. So, Universal Monsters Dracula issue number 2. I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.